Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is April 2nd. Right now we are looking at the mid-level water vapor loop. You can see the Pacific Northwest here. You can kind of see the trough carved out across a lot of the western USA. On the flip side of that, there's some severe weather expected out there across some of the eastern portions. There's actually a high risk. But we're dealing with this trough here and we're trying to see what is to come after. It looks like we're going to warm up, get a bit of a ridge here, but then we've got an additional system as we go on in towards the end of the weekend and on through early next week. We'll dive into those details as we go through the video here this morning. And right now you can see there are some showers out there, a few sun breaks to be had. There's a convergent zone north of Seattle right there that's been pretty persistent over the last few hours. You see some of these showers moving into the Washington coastline as well. And we're going to go through these showers today. Tomorrow we're really going to start to dry out. Friday and Saturday should be very nice days here across the region. And then Sunday, we're still trying to determine how much of Sunday is going to be a nice day across the area as well. Looking at lightning strikes over the last 24 hours, you can see we had one across the Willamette Valley, looks like, in some of the foothills there. Cascades, had a couple strikes there into Washington, eastern Oregon, and some across Idaho. But for the most part, not much across Washington or British Columbia. Taking a look at where we are right now, you can see that convergence zone hanging right there between Seattle and Everett, right near the county line there. So we're going to have these showers ongoing here. Dreary gray skies across a lot of western Washington today. You see some showers moving across Spokane at 38 degrees this morning. Portland checking in at 46. If you go down towards Boise, it is a chilly 35 degrees here as well. You see there is some snow flying out there. There was, I think, from Mullen Pass earlier, but it's 28 degrees right now, half a mile. So watch out if you're going across I-90 there. Now, taking a look at apparent temperature, where we are right about now, fairly chilly feeling out there for western Washington, western Oregon, eastern Washington, higher terrain, and up into southwest BC. I mean, across the Cascades, if you're out across the backcountry, it is pretty darn right brisk here this morning. And just a reminder here, again, I'm going to put this on the Patreon page for the link, the Spring Spotter Weather Training here. We'll give virtual classes April 14th, 23rd, and 29th here, courtesy of the Spokane National Weather Service. And you can go to my Patreon page, which I'll leave in the link down below, and then you go ahead and click the Spotter Training here, and then you'll be able to sign up for which virtual class you want to attend. It's great. You'll learn a lot there. Highly recommended. Now, taking a look here, I was looking at sunsets coming up. So the sunsets here for Seattle, for example, at 7:41. And as we go through the month, you can kind of see how the sun rises earlier each day, the sun sets later. And by the time we get towards the end of April, we're talking about 8:20 p.m. sunset. So yeah, that's going to be glorious, especially when you get some nice weather rolling in here. And taking a look at Spokane, in eastern Washington, they talked about March 2025 climate comparisons. And you can see the departure from normal for Spokane temperature-wise. Virtually all of eastern Washington and some of Idaho has been above average for the month of March, pretty substantially so. Kind of a mixed bag there as far as precipitation is concerned, but yeah, a very warm March. For the Inland Empire here across the Pacific Northwest. This is updated yesterday afternoon for the month of March again. And you can see today's, we got scattered showers today and Thursday. I wanted to point something out here because it's kind of interesting here. The word grapple here, if you've watched me on X, it's kind of a running joke here, but the National Weather Service does not officially record grapple as a precipitation type. What they mean in this case is small hail or snow pellets here. So I find it curious that they use a term that they do not use. There's no record of grapple that will fall. It's either recorded as snow pellets, which recorded as snow, or it's recorded as small hail. And then, of course, there's ice pellets as well, which was formerly known as sleet. So grapple is not an official meteorological term that the National Weather Service recognizes in its weather records. At least that update was here this morning. So just kind of a curious thing. It's kind of been a running joke here over the last few years on X. Now, taking a look here at the European model, if I put this into motion, you can, again, see the convergence zone here. It's with us this morning. Showers continue. We bring another inch or two across some of the higher terrain. Then we bring the backdoor front down here across western Montana. Watch out for that. It's going to keep this precipitation going as we go through the day Thursday and probably on into Friday morning before that finally sags south across Wyoming and kicks out of the area. And you notice in the meantime, let me back up. This is Thursday afternoon. We're drying out here across Seattle, Portland, southwest BC. So we're we're going to get some nicer weather on Thursday. Friday looks like a very nice day here across the area. We're drying out, we're warming up, we get some early spring, actually not even so early in the spring anymore, but we get some nice weather here through the early portion of April. And we're going through Saturday, yet another very nice day across the region. We can see this front bearing down. It's going to have clouds with it further out in front of that, and it's going to start to bring some of that in Saturday night. And then as we go through the day Sunday, the European is speeding up that a little bit here, and I was hoping and trying to cross my fingers and make this go away, but looks like Sunday we're probably going to be going through a transition days where we bring some clouds in here and some precipitation as we go through Sunday afternoon and Sunday night, and then we go back to a little bit of a wetter pattern here for a couple of days. You can see the low pressure center right off our coastline, the troughing, continuing to bring that precipitation back into the region as we go through the early portion of next week, but then we'll see what happens after that. Now, if we take a look at 500 millibars, 18,000 feet, and this kind of checks here, you can see the ridge building as we go on through Friday, Saturday, and the next trough, the next system starts to arrive as we go through the day Sunday, trough hanging out as we go into the early portion of next week. But you see the ridge starts to rebuild here as we go through the end of that next week here. But then you see we still got some troughing to deal with. This kind of the yin and yang here of springtime across Pacific Northwest. Of course, troughs are never far off at this time of year, but we'll kind of see what's going to happen after that, showing some ridging off through the extended forecast at times. Now, if we take a look at daily 2-meter maximum temperature, so today, got some dreary skies. We're still trying to clear the clouds out here across much of the region. 54 for Seattle, somewhere similar Portland, Southwest BC. A bit warmer. The warm spot here across the Columbia Basin. You can see the Okanagan River Valley there as well. So then we go to tomorrow. We do start to warm up a bit as we start to dry out here across the region. Still some scattered showers out there, but we go on in through Friday and take a look at that. We start to warm things up. Mid-60s for Seattle, Southwest BC getting the 60s, and potentially hitting up towards 70 for some of western Oregon, a hot spot there across some of the North Willamette Valley. And then look at Saturday, probably the nicest day of the lot. Look at, we're probably up into the 70s here for some of western Oregon, maybe touching 70 for Seattle as well. And you can see the terrain features on here also, some of the valleys that dig back in towards the foothill areas, definitely warming up on Saturday. Sunday, kind of that transition day, warm east of the mountains here, and trying to chop our temperatures down a bit, and we go back into the trophy mode here as we go through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but then we may bounce back as we go through the mid and end portion of that week, next week as well. So great time to be outdoors. Now, taking a look here, this is the thunderstorm threat today. It does include Spokane, just off to the east of Boise. Missoula, Butte, and Great Falls are included. But there's that high risk. If you got people out across, Little Rock and Memphis out there, and portions of the Mississippi Valley and up towards the Great Lakes here, you can expect some severe weather. People ask me, why aren't you out chasing yet? And it's like, well, this is not really photogenic stuff. This is a big mess. There's going to be flooding concerns, and the terrain isn't great out here. I wait for later in the season where I get back out into the plains where it's flatter, a little bit better road network, and you're not dealing with all the trees as well. So that's why I put off my storm chasing, usually until May and June, but sometimes I'll go out and select a big system that comes through in April. Now, this is a day 2. It does include Spokane, Boise, Missoula, and Butte again. You can see it does not include Seattle or Portland. Now, lightning flash density potential. Let's put this into motion and we'll just kind of play this out. So this is tomorrow or actually this is this afternoon today. And you can see maybe northeast Washington, some portions of Idaho, maybe a lightning strike or two. Then we go through Thursday and we should be on the decline. You can see some of that off to the east there. And then we go Friday. Nice dry day, warm here across the region. That lightning's way off to our southeast by that point. And then we go on into Saturday. Again, no lightning here for the Pacific Northwest. And then as we go on through Monday, as that system comes through, we may kick off some storms here across the area. We'll continue to watch that over the next few days. And no windstorm to speak of here over the next few days as well. We'll put that into motion. You kind of see nothing really to speak of, except we're going to turn offshore and maybe get a little bit breezy Friday night through the gorge down there and some of the foothill passes and canyons out there and gaps, like the Stampede Gap as well. May get a bit breezy here as we go into Saturday morning, but no major windstorm expected with that. If we look at the HRRR really quickly, this is a high-resolution model. You can again see as we go through this afternoon, maybe northeast Washington, Idaho Panhandle, some of western Montana up into Canada. Some lightning activity is possible there today. And if we look at total snow-Kuchera ratio, as we go on in through, we only got a couple inches here, maybe for some of the higher terrain. Not much to speak of, not a big deal. And then that next system comes in. It doesn't look like a great snowmaker as well. And this wraps up Monday next week. So 15-day precipitation anomaly, kind of the mixed bag here with some troughing out here at times. It's going to try to be impacting some of western BC. So kind of that mixed bag, but a lot of the Pacific Northwest still is quite dry as we go through the next 2-week period. Here's a little, this is last night's artificial intelligence. You can kind of see the cutoff there right across southwest BC. So we'll be watching that over the next few days. If we look at the artificial intelligence, take a look at Friday, Saturday, very nice days. We go to Sunday, and you start to deal with that frontal system there, and then the troughing will be around, and then maybe we'll start to warm back up as we go through the end of the following week. Now, 6 to 10 day above normal, but you can kind of see this mixed bag across Pacific Northwest as we go through April 11th. Again, we'll be breaking that down day by day, so no need to get worried. 8 to 14 day above average across the west, and again, a mixed bag here across Pacific Northwest as we go on into April 15th. And if we look out 46 days as of, let me see if this updates. No, that's still the same one, but we have that signal for some below normal temperatures as we go through the next 6 weeks or so. And this is the actual ensemble mean. You can kind of see that below normal signal showing up, which does not mean we're not going to get precipitation during this time. This is still showing that we're going to get those amounts. This is just below normal as we would go on into the mid portion of May, wrapping things up. So anyway, hope you guys are having a good day. Click like and subscribe. We will do this all again tomorrow, and I'll talk to you guys then.